we go. Back again. The boomers are back. We are coming with our Halloween movie, Zombieland. Let's see. Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Abigail Breslin, Emma Stone, Bill Murray, Amber Heard, and a bunch of zombies. After a virus turns most people into zombies, the world's surviving humans remain locked in an ongoing battle against the hungry undead. 4 survivors: Tallahassee and its cohorts, Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock, abide by a list of survival rules and zombie killing strategies as they make their way toward a rumored safe haven at Los Angeles. October 2nd, 2009, directed by Ruben Fleischer. Screenplay by Rhett, Reese, and Paul Wernick. Budget was $23.6 million US. 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I couldn't find any random movie thing, so I could say whatever that is. So let's do it. This is Fuzzy's movie.
No, this was Josh's.
No, this is Josh's movie. Fuzzy's movie is going to be next week.
Yes.
Josh,
yes,
Zombieland, great choice.
Thank you.
It doesn't feel like it's old enough, but it's older, which is crazy that things that aren't old seem old when they're not old. The older we get, if that made any sense.
Sure. I think when you have a film that's well done, I think that it ages well, and this is a great example of that. The only thing in the movie that occurred that kind of dated it, that kind of took me out of it a little bit, was when they mentioned that Eddie Van Halen was still walking around as a zombie. So that was telling me that when the movie was made, that he was actually still alive and he has since passed. And that kind of took it out. It was like, oh yeah, he's actually dead for real. So, but apart from that, this movie is pretty much seamless. I don't know the director, never heard of the screenwriters, any of those guys. They did a fantastic job. I'm hoping that they've gotten a lot more work since this film. So,
it clicked their name. I think they did a couple of the Marvel movies, if I'm not mistaken. I remember hearing that, like, they were working on some sort of comic book, because this was a comic book movie, and or the director or something like that. But I agree with you. This was one of the best openings to a movie I've seen. Like, when I turned it on, I forgot about the opening. Like, I forgot how it starts. You know,
Zombieland, Double Tap, Uncharted, Venom, Gangster Squad,
Venom. That's
30
what it
minutes
was.
or less.
I love 30 minutes or less, dude. That one's a shitty fucking movie, but it's awesome, dude. It's awesome, dude. I love that movie. But the opening of this one, Zombieland, I mean, come on, dude. Like, just him explaining the rules, the brilliancy of the cuts, and, like, the simple things of it. You know what I mean? Like, fucking cardio, number 1 rule. Fat people always died first. I was watching it with my son, and I looked at him and go, I told you better fucking work out. Gonna eat your ass, dude. But then it cuts to the fucking, one of the best Metallica songs ever, just, and it's just a topless girl running with titties just bouncing and money coming out, and she's got blood foaming out her mouth, and the whole time I didn't care that she was a zombie. I was like, look at them titties. They're moving in slow motion to Metallica. This is awesome!
Right? The movie starts at 10. It can only go down from there.
Yeah, and even the beauty of this one is like, because it's your simple apocalyptic movie. You know, the end of the world. These couple people meet each other, and they're gonna go along. But the weird thing is it feels so natural. It doesn't feel like actors. Like the only time I feel that way, it's just me. Bill Murray was awesome. Like, I was crying. Like, what clicked in my mind, because I just watched it, I had forgotten that they had worked together before in Kingpin. And so, like, the whole time I'm sitting there watching, I go, oh shit, they're like playing off each other. Like, this is cool. Like, okay, I like this. But I love Emma Stone. Like, I think Emma Stone is one of the greatest actresses we've had in a long time. She's beautiful. Like, she's a legit actress, right?
Oh, when she went into Ghostbusters, that was great.
Oh, but there's scenes where, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's that scene when they're in they're running towards at the end when they're in the park and the fucking zombies are coming. She turns around with the shotgun and she fucking just raps off a couple rounds like this, dude. Like just like I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Like that's some hot shit right there. Like you can't. Oh god, that's natural, right? But then there's other parts where she's like. She's trying to be a badass, but I'm like, you're so cute, dude. Like, you're not tough, dude. Like, if you came to me, I would be just like them. I'd be disarmed too. I was literally thinking the same thing in my head, like someone needs to get their hair turned behind their ear and shit like that. It's like, she is not that badass, but she was, dude. Like, that was my only complaint. But everything else, dude, was just like, I forgot how much I love this movie. Like, I wanted to watch the sequel right afterwards. But I was like, nope, because then I'm going to start confusing the two, and that ain't, I want to get it right. So as soon as we're done here, going in to watch that, dude.
Okay, that's fair. I had to remember that they were trying to set up the amusement park. Because I'm just like, okay, you got into your Hummer full of guns, doors are closed, the windows are up, the zombies jump on, and you jump out of the car and let it go into the water. Like, I was just like, oh, why would you were safe? Like, you're safe, you're in the Hummer. Like, why would you? But I'm just like, because that's what you need to do for the plot to move forward, for you to get stuck on the up and down thing. Like,
and as silly as that is, it's an awesome scene. Like, it was done well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because you're thinking, like, why are you getting on that fucking machine? Like, why climb up it? Don't fucking get on the thing that go up like that. But, it was fun. Like, you're like, okay, this is why, because it's just a fun way to do it and shit.
Yeah, just follow the rules, right? Like, I don't know how well Eisenberg communicated the rules to them, because they were pretty fit. All they would have had to do was just go for a jog.
Why?
And they would have got away.
Well, even with the rules, that's one of the great arcs of the fucking movie. Like how much of a, he's by the rules. He's, even that part where she's in the car and he unleashes the seatbelt and you can see him kind of like, oh, it's freeing, and she's like, yeah, you're living on the edge kind of thing. Like, making fun of him and shit as she's driving. And then at the end, like right at the end where he's like, sometimes you got to fucking break the rules, and the way like the rules come up and you see it just disappear, and fucking it says be a hero. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Like, that's what I'm talking about. I love that shit, dude. Like, again, love this movie. And then, I mean, the other part that we overlook that is brilliant in the writing is the Twinkie. The whole, like it almost feels like that's what the movie's about to me. Like, is Woody Harrelson getting his fucking Twinkie, and at the end when he fucking shoots the Twinkie, he looks at him and he's just like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." And then when she throws him the Twinkie,
it's too soon.
Yeah, exactly. And when she throws him the Twinkie, the way he's like looking at it, he's like, "Oh, dude, it's great, dude. I love it."
The best part about that is when they get to Bill Murray's place. He's like, "Oh, I'm taking you to the tippity top of the A list." they get to his house, and then of course they're searching the cabinets for Twinkies, and then I think it's Abigail Breslin's character is just like, "Oh, there's no Twinkies." And he's like, "Shit, fuck." You can feel like his inner turmoil, his pain, and
like
not to get those.
It's simple. It's like this simple thing that he needs. You know what I mean? It's not a I need to get the Grail, or I need to get, like, it's literally, I need a Twinkie, dude. I want a fucking Twinkie. And I think if the apocalypse happened and Fuzzy couldn't find a cigarette, I swear to Christ, I'd be the same way. I'd just be walking around like, dude, we got to go into people's houses. Do they have an ashtray sitting outside? They got to have cigarettes in the house, dude. Let's go in. Let's kick the door in.
This is my brother. My brother was that fiend where he would get all the butts and take the little bit of tobacco from them and then roll them into a cigarette. Oh. Roll up a hodgepodge refry. He was brutal, man.
Those are, we call those road dogs, dude, because, when you're on the road and you ain't got no money.
Road dogs.
They taste like shit, but fucking, I haven't had to make one in a long time, but
aside from everything you guys have said, which is 100% spot on, because it's like when you're the last person to talk, sometimes you're just like, well, shit, everybody said everything that's about it. But what's cool about this is the emotional depth that's involved. You think Zombieland, it's a apocalyptic, it's end of the world, it's all going to be drab and dry and sad and all that stuff, but it's not. You've got the humor, you've got the reality, you've got the backstabbing nature, you've got and then his puppy. You think Buck is just his puppy, but in fact it wasn't, and you get teary-eyed about that. So it even takes you to that level of oh wait, people really do die. It's not just the funny zombies that you get to see rolling around and things like that, that there was some depth to it, besides, oh yeah, he lost his parents, but you never really saw him, so it didn't really matter. But the way that Woody Harrelson was able to convey the loss, and even through that, he picks up the money and he wipes his head with $20 bills. You know what I mean?
bills.
Oh, I thought it was $20 bills.
Yeah, they're
They're
hundreds.
playing Monopoly with real money, playing around.
No, best Bill Murray scene still is in this movie when after he gets shot, and he said something. Woody Harrelson said something to him like, "Did you get to do this?" And he just turns to him. He turns to Jesse Eisenberg with this just real long pause and goes, "No." And he fucking dies. I was like, brilliant. Fucking brilliant, dude.
But even through that, she laughs. Emma Stone laughs. She goes, "Oh, yeah, sorry."
And even the way she talks about him, he had a love letter to her funny bone or some shit like that. Or I was like, yeah, dude, that's cool.
When Abigail Breslin asked him, do you have any regrets? He's like, Garfield, maybe.
And then the way even Woody's playing with his wound, he's like, yeah. I don't think we can stitch this up.
He's like, it's still tender. It's like a simultaneously horrific and funny scene, because you're like, oh my god, he just blew away Bill Murray.
They should have known better if he was that jackrabbity about it. They should have known he would have shot him.
I know.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. I'd have been if I was Woody, I'd have walked in and just be like, "Give me the shotgun."
I remember distinctly when I first saw that movie in the theater, that scene when they were coming up to his in-home movie theater, and he's putting the wig back on. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll scare him good." I'm like, "Oh shit, he's gonna get blasted." You just know. You're like, "Oh, this is not going well," and then sure enough, you're like, "Oh god."
And he gets his 16 gun salute, but halfway through he has to
reload.
Hold on. Double barrel. But I even like the part where they figure out he's alive and shit, and he's telling them, he's like, yeah, man, I do this, it's this and that, and went on the golf course today, just walked on. I was like, I love this, dude. This is great.
I like to get out and see things. It's okay, it just doesn't change even in the apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Eddie down at the Hollywood Bowl. Oh yeah, how is he? Oh, he's a zombie.
Yeah. Or even the shot of him when they're about to go, they're gonna do the nut up or shut up, scene, and Jesse's on the motorcycle and he's all loaded up, ready to go kick some ass, but Woody doesn't want to go, and he fucking gets on the cycle, and they have the shot of him going, and he just falls off the fucking bike, and Woody, like a fucking dad, just goes, Jesus Christ, dude, gets in the car.
That's a cool scene, though.
Dude. It's a
Will they have their standoff?
Oh yeah, and then he goes. And they get in the car. But no, I love the way that they banter between each other, especially when they're in the Indian place when they're about and he's putting on the perfume. He's like, "Are you wearing perfume?" And he's like, "No, it's cologne." And he sprays him, and he turns around. He goes, I've fucking kicked more. I've fucked more shit up for less. Don't just always remember that.
I kicked stale ass for less.
There you go. That's it. That's a great fucking line. I was laughing so hard. I was like,
you're gonna get 45%.
Yeah, that has happened to me at least 120 times in my life. I swear to God, where I've been in, with some big dudes, and they're fucking with you, but they're punking you, and you get mad, and you're like, "Fuck you," like that, and they go, "What? You know what, dude? I like you. You're cute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna let you live, but I'm gonna only give you 20%." But you're like, "Oh God damn." That's why whenever Greg's always like, "Here, I'll give you 40%." I was like, I want 0% of your fucking chop on my chest. Like, fuck that, dude. We're staying high fives, all right.
No chops. All right, there you have it. Let's get into the buckets. Buckets of spilled popcorn is how we rate these old movies. How does this one hold up? It held up well enough to get a sequel 10 years later, right? I don't know.
I've seen it. We haven't seen it.
I'm gonna watch it tonight, so I'll give my 10 cents just to, because I'm a completist. If there's a fucking sequel, I gotta see it. And I love. I was like, I love this movie. I gotta watch another one.
Lies. You never saw part 2 of Bahubali.
Because that
Lies.
had
Lies.
sandals and swords, and I told
Lies.
you they can't sucker me into. We'll get into the next one, then the one we do about your one, dude. Trust me, you tried to trick me too. I got a bone to pick with you, buddy.
10.
All right, let's do it. Lizard, what do you got?
I got
Zombieland. 10?
I mean, no, 9. Okay, 9. Because 10 is reserved for like Indiana Jones and like Star Wars and shit. This one gets a 9 then. It has everything. It's got great dialogue. It only has like 10 people in the movie. Like when we watch the cast of characters, like at the end of the movie, it's all cast and it's like this big on the screen. You're like, oh, okay, you're right. There really was only like 5 or 10 people in this thing. Not a problem. And Bill Murray wasn't one of them.
Bill Murray as himself.
It did? Okay. Couldn't see that far. No, it's got great dialogue. It's great action, great acting, humor, emotions. You get it all in this movie. And it's a lot of fun. And it's not your typical scary zombie apocalyptic, like, type thing. It's got that in it, but that's not what it's about. It's more about the people interacting, normal people interacting with each other.
That's fair. Jaded?
Yeah, just going by the list that you put at the front of the show, the acting is great, the story is great, the movie is fun to watch. Obviously most of the effects are practical effects, so a lot of that looks really good. I just don't think it has any like future cultural influence. I think it's too recent a film, and there's too many zombie flicks out there that preceded it for it to have that kind of an impact. So the best I can do on this movie is to give it an 8.
All right, I'm with you. That was the stickler is the cultural relevance. Now it did garner itself a sequel, so I couldn't give it a 0 out of 2 on that one. So I want to go like 8.5. It didn't squeak up to a 9 for me, but 8.5, and it's a really high 8.5. It's like an 8.5 sprinkled with sugar and spice. Great movie, loved it. All right, Fuzzy,
I'm here to save it. I'm here to save the movie because, ladies and gentlemen, it is a 9 at a minimum. I'm with Liz on this, but I'm gonna. You know how I give it. I give it that extra fuzzy touch because let me tell you, they have key dialogue that when I heard it, I go, oh yeah, I used to say it all the time, nut up or shut up. That's people still say that to each other every time, dude. Fucking the whole Twinkie gag, okay? Even the cheesy love story between the two, lovers was awesome. You were just like, oh man, I hope they do get together. And like the way, Woody kept coming in and cock-blocking. Oh, I mean, beautiful. Fucking because of all this stuff added in it. And I do have a feeling that people in 20 to 30 years are going to still be watching this movie and talking about it, because when I was watching, I thought about it, and just those things we were talking about, that it felt like you were just with your friends listening to them talk when you're watching this movie. The dialogue was on point, you know what I mean? Even the rules made sense. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I would think too, kind of thing. And, you watch these other everything else that has come out, it's very serious. You know, it's the end of the world. This is silly as shit, but with a lot of heart. So it doesn't feel like a Naked Gun movie, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a zombie movie. You feel like you're just kind of watching this, you know, almost like a Dude, Where's My Car, kind of like they're talking and having fun, and then all of a sudden the zombie pops out. Yeah, you're like, a zombie pops out. You're like, oh shit! But then it's not like a cheesy zombie. It's bloody, like fucking coming at you. You're like, oh yeah, it's kind of a horror movie kind of thing. So I think this has got legs, dude. So I'm giving it 10,000 points on my end, dude. Okay, and I'm gonna put one more point extra on it because it's got the beautiful Emma Stone. Love that girl. Call me.
10,010 from Fuzzy. All right, there you have it. The movie got 10,040 out of 10.
I love you guys.
Another Fuzzy masterpiece. And we'll have another Halloween review for you next week, which I'll try to get those out early. I'll try to get those done on time so they can be, maybe even if we have to stack them on Halloween, I'll try to get them done on time. Maybe I'll put them out Monday night or Tuesday morning so we can get it going. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Take us out, Fuzz.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Give you some love, some peace, and that Popeye's grease. We are out. Peace.